Neil Carrick, do you know who she is?
No.
She was one of the original members of the Lumineers.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she's from here, and we just have some mutual friends.
Yeah.
Like randomly.
And you're just like, you want to watch Jurassic World?
She's a big
with me?
Jurassic Park fan, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. She's in like theater stuff now around town. She did a show called Rattlesnake Kate. That was about this lady from, I think she was like in Greeley, from Greeley, and her and her baby got caught in like a rattlesnake migration like movement on their horse. And so like she grabbed a sign that was like around, and she like killed all the rattlesnakes that were like around her and like saved her baby, and this horse from dying. And then she made a dress out of all the rattlesnake skins. And the dress is up in a museum in Greeley.
What?
Yeah, so she did a musical based on that. Like
a musical?
Yeah, it's very good. She's very good. She's very talented.
That's wild. Yeah, when I was in Montana, I met a rattlesnake hunter.
Okay.
Like that's what he did, was he like killed rattlesnakes for the skins.
Uh-huh.
And it was very funny where he was just like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever been to. It was like a camp and they were hosting us for dinner. He was just like, we were like, is it like dangerous? And he's like, no, it's not dangerous. You just gonna go, like, they're nothing to be scared of. They're easy to kill. I kill them all. Like that. Just talking so cavalierly about.
Have you ever had to kill a snake?
I have never had to kill a snake. In Minnesota, there I think are technically some diamondbacks. But there's not really, they're few and far between.
Yeah, there's rattlesnakes are a thing here in Colorado, and we have to deal with them from time to time. When I worked, I did some like roustabout work in the oil field, like in between high school and college.
Mm-hmm.
That was really like, so we'd be out in the country, fucking doing whatever in these fields, and on the roads there'd always be snake sunbathing, and the guys would always get out of the truck and have a flat-headed shovel to like chop the head off the snake.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to sometimes. I mean, I guess you would run over it otherwise.
Yeah.
And
would that be so bad, I guess, if you run over it?
I mean, its guts would come out. It'd probably be a more painful death for the snake,
so it's a little more humane.
It's a little more humane, but also they seem to like it more than,
They're like, it's a good thing we're doing. I can't wait to do this.
And then they would take the rattles off the tail and they would keep it in the ashtrays of their, and they would be like, you want one? Or, I don't know. It was like a point of pride for them.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were like, hey, go get that kid, go fucking kill that snake, dude. And the first time it like jumped at me, I was like, fuck this. Nope. I like threw the fucking shovel back in the back of the truck, and I was like, you go kill it if you want to. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, no, I've never seen a dangerous snake in the wild.
Okay.
Like garter snakes, and like there are a few other kinds that I've seen, but every time I've been like, oh, what like was that point? And I looked it up and it's like, oh no, it was just a friendly little neighborhood snake.
Yeah, we got some garden snakes around the house.
Yeah.
My wife was like, oh, they get rid of mice, I guess.
Yeah,
so there's that.
They're great. Yeah, they eat a lot of bugs, spiders.
What's worse?
Yeah. But at least the garden snakes, they're chill.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even if they bite you, I think I got bit by one, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like that.
You got bit by one.
I think so.
You're getting in there.
Yeah, I think it was just like on the ankle or something, if I remember right, when I was a kid. But it's nothing crazy. It's just a little prick. I mean, getting blood drawn is worse than getting bit by one of those things.
Damn. Yeah, there's some bullhead snakes, things like that. I remember a dog when I was a kid, being like, what's the dog barking at? And going out to see the driveway. It's like a big dirt driveway in the country. And
they're pretty big, aren't they? The bullheads?
The head is crazy. I mean, you can see how they got their name for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate snakes, though. Anybody who's like too into snakes. See, it looks like a rattlesnake almost, but the head's bigger, I guess.
You know what? I have seen one of those like in a national park or something, but it was far enough away that I was like,
bull snake. Sorry, not a bullhead. Referring to the bull snake is also known as the gopher snake.
Gopher snake. Okay.
Non-venomous, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get into a urinal, you got to kick it to make sure there's no snakes in there, because they might go in there for warmth when it starts getting cold, or they might be getting away from the sun if it's too hot.
So what does kicking it do?
Just be like, hey, I'm coming in, you can hear it rattle, or it'll make a noise.
Specifically with like a rattler is what you're
or just, for. I mean, if you kick it, it's more likely to just slither away than they'll be like, no, I'm going to wait here.
Yeah, I'm going to stand my ground.
Yeah. There's like a warning,
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of outside work? A lot of, in a field somewhere? You got one urinal?
Not since college,
Okay.
and not in places where there would be snakes that I'd be worried about. Well, in Montana, I guess, but I in high school did like like a guy would be like, I got landscaping work. Do you want money? And I'd be like, yes, please. So I would go like do landscaping stuff at his place and like labor around like their lake
It's like
cabin
putting
and stuff.
sod around or what?
Yeah, yeah, putting
a rock
mulch
there.
down, spraying paint off and repainting stuff, and then at that camp that I worked at near where the guy would kill the rattlesnakes, we would do if you weren't on that week with like kids in the cabin, you would be doing manual labor, and that summer learned I didn't like kids, so I ended up on the manual labor
Oh,
team
shit,
fairly
okay.
frequently. So yeah, you do like you'd mow the lawns, we'd remulch again in that area, whatever stuff, cut down
Mulch.
trees and
Like putting down like wood chips.
exactly
shit like that.
Yeah. I think with the mulch, it's like a wood chip mix where it's like wood chips and there's other
Did
stuff.
you know those could spontaneously combust?
Wood chips?
Yeah, or like mulch on. I was just listening to a podcast and a guy was saying like, oh, I was looking at like the mulch around the mall in like New Jersey or something, and apparently it's like that's something that can happen.
How?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're putting chemicals in there, to keep it from rotting, too soon or something. And
is it the sun? Like
I'm sure it gets
activates
super hot, out there all day. Get things like 105 yesterday.
Yeah, well, in my experience mulching, it's usually been fairly shaded, so I've never seen
Fairly
mulch
shaded?
explode. Yeah. We're like the guy's house that I did a couple times. It was all like trees where the mulching was happening. He was kind of in a wooded area, and then at camp similarly, it was all wooded.
Occurs when heat generated by decombusting organic matter becomes trapped within the mulch, unable to dissipate, and eventually reaches the point where it ignites.
That I haven't worked with mulch long enough. I guess it was just a couple summers worth.
Shit about mulch, bro. No, I mean, I wouldn't have known this if I wouldn't have heard it on the podcast.
Yeah,
and you gotta fucking dump a bunch of water on it.
And look, there's articles like to specific stuff.
Yeah, dude. Anything you want your yard to look good is probably bad for the environment. You should just give it back to the earth.
Yeah, just generally, I feel like that's the case.
I heard the thing about cemeteries. Like they originally, were just kind of like, especially here in Colorado, it's just like desert land. It's just like a square you bury people. But then it became like, oh no, we gotta make it look nice. We gotta have grass on it. You gotta have trees and stuff, and like the city pays for all that basically. But it's like people keep dying and they only keep getting bigger. Yeah, and like the resources are dwindling.
Yeah, so you're watering graves instead of. Yeah, I feel like I haven't been to any of the large cemeteries around here, but I mean, the Cheeseman stuff is crazy.
Oh yeah, where they moved all them.
Yeah,
graves.
I went to the Botanic Gardens like haunted night where they do like ghost stories and stuff, and you start it with an informational documentary that was basically like the guy they hired cheated in every way he could and had zero respect for everything, and this is everything they did. And and then when you go around, they tell stories, and based on where you are in the park, there's a different ghost story associated. It was really fun if you're into that stuff.
Yeah. Sounds too scary for me, actually. Yeah. I'm surprised your religion let you do that.
Well, I am not as
good of a Christian
as...
Well,
when I say I'm a Christian, I hesitate to say like I'm a Christian because I feel like my views don't align with what that word means to other people is not what I'm saying it means to me. So I don't align myself with most of
organized religion in a way.
Yes, okay. Yes, yeah. And in fact, a lot of that stuff, there's nothing inherently that's like, but it just kind of doesn't fully jive with all of the rhetoric that's been decided upon. So everyone is just like, we don't get it. It doesn't fully make sense. So therefore it's of Satan. And, but no, spooky stuff. My wife has a ton of spooky things.
She dabbling in the witchcraft, huh?
She doesn't dabble. It acts upon her.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got the market cornered on My Wife's a Witch here, okay? I
Yeah.
heard Rory Scovel do a TikTok thing about it. I was like, fuck!
Yeah. Get out of here. Only one of us can be.
Yeah, well, my whole thing is like, oh, my wife joined a cult recently. Our candle bills through the roof is like kind of my opener with it.
Yeah.
And he was like, my wife joined a cult, and that's what I got to go home to, you know? And so I was like, oh, also kind of funny, you know?
Yeah.
Or also funny, but in a different
slightly
take.
different take. Yeah. Similar premise, but different punchlines.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it seems that women are just far more sensitive to those types of things
Because
than
of
men
their
generally.
periods.
Yes, yeah, menstrual cycles. It attracts the ghosts, just like bears or whatever. What is that people used to say?
Yeah.
Does it
bears.
actually? Because you're bleeding?
I mean, bears can smell stuff, so I mean, I guess, you know,
dude, that's.
I mean, I'm sure some.
You talk about like your wife reads the smut books and stuff, and they're like fairy things, and all I can think about when they're like, because the fairies are like, oh, I can smell that you are turned on right now, and I'm just like, God, that would be the worst thing for human society. We can't handle that power to like, maybe it would get normalized or whatever. But I mean, could you imagine like how many couples, like, you know, couples out to a date and a guy or a girl sees somebody and then they're like, I can smell that you're turned on by them. And then that's a whole thing. Yeah. Like, you know, you can't help that you're like attracted to someone. And then someone is like, oh, that thing that you can't help. Now I'm holding you out full for it because I know I can smell, dude.
Oh man, God forbid we go to a family reunion. No, I'm just like,
oh my God, yeah. No. So you smell someone see their cousin. Oh man.
Is that a thing in the fairy smut? Is something that's
specifically the smut I read a lot of Sarah Moss, the Court of Thorns and Roses stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, all the fairies have heightened sense and smell.
Harry Potter of smut books, right? It's like entered the zeitgeist so much.
Yes.
It's
it's
almost mainstream.
Yeah, book talk or whatever the thing is huge on it. Yeah. And what I think is so funny about Sarah Moss stuff is she is like, all of these fairies are so much more beautiful than everyone. Like humans are nothing. They're weak. They have, you know, they're like ants to these people. But every time you meet a human, they're like, and for a human, just so hot, just so beautiful and so strong. And you're like, are the humans weak? Because every time it's like some prince that, you know, can hold their own instead of in the beginning, they sound just like, you know, toothpicks.
They're a little racist. And they're a little
there's for sure some speciesist stuff going on. Gotcha. Oh yeah. Yeah, the humans hate the fairies a lot. Well, they were enslaved by them for a long time. So, you know, there's a lot of...
That'll do it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my wife doesn't like that I'm telling everybody that she's addicted to porn in a way.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that is a line kind of in my joke. It's mostly about friends I have that are more into the smut than my wife, but it's easier in the joke to be like, my wife does this. Do you find that in your jokes that it's easier just to be like, you know, if you have like a friend or something, it's just like, cut through the chaff, my wife does this, and it's a joke and punchline.
Yeah, just to make the relation.
To get to the joke. I mean, you know, it's got to be a little set up punchline. It can't always be like, so, you know, I met this one girl in college and we stayed friends this whole time. And you know what? You know, we hang out, and, you know, you might think it's weird that, you know, a guy could have 4 female friends, but it turns out that, you know, we all get along, and then they happen to just be into smut recently. And I was like, what? We went to Target and she's buying all these books, and I'm like, the fuck you do? You know, I'm just saying, you know, like,
like,
you're not telling a story here. You're not painting. You're not writing
painting
a novel.
So much superfluous stuff that all it does is slow down your act. I haven't specifically done stuff, I'd say, with my wife. I would say I combine things a lot, where like, oh, this thing happened, and also like my dad did this thing, and it's like, what if they just all happen at the same time? Like, I feel like I do a lot more condensing, or I hear this thing that relates to something else, and then I just go, what if that also happened then?
Right.
I haven't done a lot of attributing. Usually, if it's like a friend, I'll just say, I have a friend who, and cut it that way.
Yeah.
But also, if you have a bunch of stuff about your wife, then it like totally makes sense to transition.
I was trying to think of who's the Daily Show comedian who got caught lying about like all of his stand-up.
Oh, who was that?
I think I want to say Hassan Minaj, but I'm not sure if that's it.
Yes. No, it for sure was Hassan Minaj. Yes. But it's also was a funny thing where like a lot of famous people were like, yeah, dude, that's like the thing. That's like, it's one thing if you're damaging stuff or like really making a moral point based on the lines or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also it's art.
Yeah, Hassan
That'd be like,
Minaj, yeah.
It'd be like watching a movie and being like, oh, loosely based. Well, that's not exactly how it happened,
Right.
and therefore this movie's invalid.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I really loved that Elvis movie that came out a couple of years ago, but it's also like it wasn't exactly like that.
Yeah, yeah. I just watched.
I mean, he was so good, but it was like.
I heard. I never saw it, but I just watched the Bob Dylan biopic.
Okay. Yeah,
and I am also very curious because Bob Dylan is alive. I haven't dug into it, but I'm like, did he know? Like, did he approve of everything that was in there? Because Bob Dylan doesn't look amazing.
It, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked about like dabbling in occult stuff to like get those the lyrics and stuff. You know, he's like, I don't know. He said he made a deal with the big guy, and like that's like, and he like.
What? I didn't know that. They did not talk
like
about that
whole
in the
like
biopic.
crossroads thing, you know, with like blues musicians and stuff. You know, you meet the devil on a crossroads and you sell your soul to be a good guitar player kind of thing. Yeah. So I think he might have been alluding a little bit to that, but you know, they're talking about like how he wrote his music and stuff, and that was like, I was like, this guy's crazy. This guy's a little creepy.
Yeah, I mean,
we should be getting to that state to write jokes, is what I'm saying. Let's sell our souls to the
you
devil.
want to join the occult, to write?
I mean, if it gets me to Bob Dylan levels of fame, might be worth it.
I'd be curious how it would translate to stand-up comedy because lyrics, it's like, oh wow, powerful. Like whatever.
Music is a different beast.
Dude, I was at the show last night at the Comedy Lounge, the late show. Ben sat a bunch of like really tough bros up front. And there was one guy who I just was like thinking through my act, and I'm like, I just know that when I talk about milk for 2 minutes, he's not gonna give a damn.
During the dirty show?
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I'm not very dirty, and Ben starts the show by being like, all right, welcome to the nasty show. Clap your nasty little hands. And I was like, that is setting them up for not what I'm about to do.
So you don't change your set at all to be like, well, so I was fucking her in the ass, Sylvie.
I just start every bit by saying I was fucking her in the ass, and then I just do the joke. But no, Ben, I didn't realize he hadn't done that in the past, and I usually don't. I just kind of do what I want to at the late show. Mm-hmm. But had I known he was going to do that, I definitely would have tried to do my least clean stuff. But no, he would. There's a chance that maybe his reaction to enjoying a joke was going like, you know, shaking his, like, you know, doing something. But what it looked like to me was I would tell a punchline, and he, arms crossed, would just go. And shake his head, and like that is so defeating. Is to like not only not get a laugh, but have someone be like, "What is this?"
You're talking about Ben Kronberg, right?
Yeah.
The guy who owns the club.
Yeah. Who sat everybody, and then like, no, he was messing with me all night too, like playing.
Okay, yeah. So you guys have a rapport.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh no, do you think I was coming up here to rip on Ben?
No, I just didn't know. He's like, you know, I don't know if he approves on any of my jokes, and I haven't really gotten up on. There in a while.
Ben wasn't the one shaking his head.
Oh,
this was the dude. He sat in the front row.
Okay.
No. Ben was in the back. And he, before the show, accidentally cut my mic. But this was a guy sitting in the front row.
Yeah,
so this was not Ben in the back. I wasn't like looking to the back for affirmation from Ben. Yeah, the third time he's heard the joke. Being
the owner of the club.
Yeah, how come you didn't change that this time? No.
Yeah.
This was a dude up front who was like a tough bro dude. Like he had like the type of tattoos down his arm that you would just be like, okay, yeah, you could beat me in a fight. You know, when you see that.
It's tattoos that make the man.
Well, it was the specific, I don't even remember, it was like the specific lettering of the tattoos where I was like, I've only seen that on like tough guys.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think you could be, you know, you're a big guy. You're probably stronger than you think.
I could probably put up a bigger fight than I think, but I it's tough because I'm so non-confrontational.
Sure. But that's, you know, takes a while. You know, it takes a lot to make the giant mad, you know, but once he's mad.
Yeah, then.
Once the Hulk's out, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just a naturally big guy. I bet you could, you know, you could probably throw around a couple Mexicans or something if they were threatening your wife in an alley.
Well, this guy.
Mexicans are short. That's what I was just thinking.
I was like, well, I guess I don't know. I feel like it depends on how often do the Mexicans
never
go
did
to
a boxing
the gym.
class. I could see that being the next step in your life. Is that you're like,
Yeah.
wow, Sam really got into boxing and he's training for a fight right now.
I wanted to do like mixed martial art training or whatever when I went to college because
like
I was
the
like
deep end.
yeah, or not necessarily mixed martial arts, but just some form of martial arts where I could
good.
defend myself, like feeling like if something would happen, I have enough control over my body. But no, never did it.
Like throw a punch. Not break your hand.
Yeah. If you need to, just like basic self-defense, or if something happens, just like being able to what's the one where the whole point is to get people on the ground?
Well, jiu-jitsu ends up on the ground a lot. Yeah, judo's the throwing part.
Okay, just like if something would happen where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna get this person on the ground and like get out of here. Like I don't have a desire to beat somebody up. I just want to neutralize and get out of the situation.
Which is most self-defense. That's what all good martial arts teach you.
Yeah, but no, I never did it.
Okay,
never committed.
Still time. Still time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I that's probably a midlife crisis thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the verge of World War III, so maybe you learn how to throw a punch or something. It might be worth it. Might be worth it.
Maybe I'll just cower,
get a gun.
cower in the background the whole time. Skirt
no
away
thought
from
of
the
a
violence.
gun, then, huh?
I occasionally
Your
think
wife
about
into that? Which if you
like,
let's go shopping for a gun.
I have never shot a gun.
Not even like a rifle.
Not even like a rifle. My parents were they didn't hunt. They were very against gun ownership. My father-in-law owns every gun he can, and my wife grew up like going to the shooting range.
She knows how to use it.
She knows how to use a gun.
Right, so she can protect you.
She could protect me. Allegedly, she's a very good shot.
Allegedly.
Again, we haven't gone shooting
never
together.
supported her in anything she's done. So
Listen, I need to see it to believe it. No. I've done like paintball and stuff, but that's as close as I've gotten.
Okay.
So I've shot people with live rounds, but they were full of pretty paint.
Yeah. I bet your trigger discipline's real good.
Yes. Oh yeah. Really good.
I just heard that the other day, and I keep thinking about it.
The trigger discipline.
Yeah, trigger discipline.
We had a guy breaking into rooms in our building, and at that point,
you live in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. At that point, we were like,
what part of
town? South Denver.
Okay.
Like DU area.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, we were like, should we have a gun? And then that guy broke into a gun owner's home and was sleeping there. And when he came home from vacation, he shot him many times.
The gun owner
shot the guy breaking into people's rooms many times.
So let's refer to him as the hero from now
on. But no, he shot him enough times where you're like, I don't know how that happened. Like, was he laying on the ground and he just kept going? I forget what the number was, but I swear it was more than a clip.
Right.
So,
whoa, more than a clip.
It was like 8 or 9. And what does a standard clip have? I think
a clip has like 9 or something like that. 9 to 11, maybe.
I don't know.
Depending on how big the gun is.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of gun it was.
Yeah, I don't know anything about guns really either.
Yeah.
My
Here we are having a whole podcast about firearms, and I was like, we don't know.
I'm interested. I'm gun curious. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
My uncle has a gun, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. My brother is ex-military, and he was like trying to show me how to like hold guns and stuff. We weren't at a range, so I couldn't actually shoot them.
Just in the car.
But yeah, just driving around. Yeah, but it feels almost unnatural, like the way to hold a pistol, where like how you put your thumb like around it and stuff. It took me like I would set it and be like, no, like very older brother, younger brother dynamic, where he's just like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You're gonna break your arm if you shoot like that.
Break your arm, huh?
Well, more likely hit yourself in the face probably with the recoil. But
yeah, like break your arm.
Yeah, no, we're not
That's
shooting rocket launchers or whatever. Yeah.
Got you way off your original point of talking about Bob Dylan, and you were like,
"Oh man, we got to." That's funny. We got to guns from Bob Dylan.
Yeah, all roads lead down.
Yeah. He's got a song about roads, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Route 66 or yeah, I don't know.
Well, no,
I'm not the biggest Bob Dylan fan. It's more
roads must a man walk down? That one?
Highway 61 is the one I was thinking of.
Wait, did he originate on the road again?
I don't think so, but written and recorded by Bob Dylan.
Whoa.
All right, I guess so.
Man, there's someone listening to this podcast who's upset
Yeah,
at
'cause
just at all of our like
Yeah.
we're angering different people
Timothy
with our
Chalamet is upset that we don't know enough about Bob Dylan. But yeah, you're saying that his their biography pick came out and he's still alive, so
yeah. What
how realistic it is to his life.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up, but I'm like, did he say like give his stamp of approval on the film? But I mean, he is not nice to a lot of the people in it, but it is interesting, kind of this journey of fame. And I felt like that was really interesting to me because I have seen people start to get fame and felt like, oh yeah, I've seen some of this stuff or similar hardships. Or Chapel Roan blew up like overnight and she like had to take a month off because fame, especially now with social media, it's so fast and it's crazy how famous you can become really, really fast.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it doesn't seem like fast to her. She'd been working for a long time before that, right?
Well, working for a long time, but I think it was like kind of,
But
you know, like
the fame part happens fast.
slight
Gotcha.
upward trajectory, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom.
Yeah. The fame thing is different,
Yeah.
I guess, than being in the industry or being a successful, at your craft or whatever.
Yeah, like Sabrina Carpenter popped off around the same time, but she's a Disney kid. She had PR training. She had all this stuff ingrained in her since she was like 10 years old. And so her pop off, it makes sense that she was not like, I need a moment to like figure this out and like take a break.
Right.
And Whitechapel will say stuff and it will be very different than other celebrities who've been on that path their whole lives, where it's like the VIP thing where she screamed at her VIP fans who weren't doing Hot to Go, the motions to it. And
I
everyone,
haven't seen this.
what was that?
I haven't seen this.
Oh, this was a while ago. And everyone was like, wow, she's so unappreciative of her fans who paid big money. And it's like, well, no, she doesn't want those people there. That's not the fans she wants at her show. She wants up front the fans who are into her music and know the Hot to Go dance and want to be there and do it with her.
So they weren't doing it right and she got mad about that?
No, they weren't doing it at all.
Oh, okay. They weren't like being active.
Before the song, or maybe as a part of the song, she teaches it to the crowd to do the Hot to Go dance. And they refused to do it in like the VIP section of the show.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah,
that would be hard.
Yes. I was talking about this with someone of just like your audience and how some comedians don't like the audience they've curated, but it's how they make money. So that's what they do. And how the comedians who seem to be the most happy, I feel like, are the ones who are so authentically themselves that they've only attracted audience members that they like.
Yeah.
Have you encountered that with people or seen like successful or people who've cultivated just like a horrible audience that they hate performing in front of every night?
No, I mean, I haven't witnessed that. I mean, I don't know. I know I've heard and I parroted people saying that you can't choose your audience.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think if you are attracting the wrong type of people you don't like, then maybe that's something you should look deeper into about like what are you putting off.
Yeah What does that mean about you?
But I mean, I guess I can't think of any examples of people being like, I hate my audience. Like even podcasters, they get big, and well, I guess like maybe my favorite murder people might get a little bit of a stalkery crowd. I feel like people who are obsessive in a way that they might not want to be the focal point for their obsession. But I don't know if that's the same thing as like, oh, I am big with Nazis and I didn't know. I didn't like that.
How did that happen? Yeah, I think it's also tough because you have to know the person or have met them in an offline way, because they're not probably, unless they're doing a rebrand, they're probably not going to be like, I hate my audience on like a podcast or something.
I guess David Cross, had to kind of I don't know, teach his audience in a way like I'm not the characters from the TV that I did.
Sure.
Patton Oswalt, I think, talks about that a little bit in his book. It's like he kind of blew up from King of Queens, and people would come thinking, like bros would come, and he's like, "That's not what I do."
Yeah.
And he kind of had to like break
so
out
eclectic.
of this.
Yeah. That's very funny to like think of like what's his face? The guy who plays the main character in King of Queens. What's his name?
Kevin James.
Yes. Yeah. Like his fans coming to see Patton Oswalt is very funny.
Yeah.
Now I worked with Kevin Farley, Chris Farley's brother, and this is not like the same, but like Chris's fans often come out to his shows, and it is it is weird to think about an existence where he interacts and has to like talk about his dead brother every time basically he performs, because someone is going to come up to him and be like, say something about Chris, or I love this about Chris, or whatever. And like every night, every show, someone would come up to him and he would have to talk about or think about his dead brother.
I mean, it's a way to keep him alive, I guess, in a certain aspect. I mean, you got to really change your thinking of it, and hopefully he's coming from a place of gratitude.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh my God, I can't believe these fucking people.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Or John Belushi's brother, Jim Belushi. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about the Belushis.
Mm-hmm. Belushi is just another SNL guy, blew up, died from overdosing. I mean, all these people are chasing Jim Belushi. Chris Farley's hero was Jim Belushi, or John Belushi. Jim Belushi's his brother, sorry.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
I think there's like 3 levels.
Well, they keep emulating him so hard that they also
that they
overdose.
go down that road.
It's like,
Because I mean, that lifestyle it's not the healthiest thing to be on SNL or to be.
Did you see the sketch they did? That everyone that works at SNL has anxiety.
Yeah.
And my favorite
Lonely Island song.
Yeah, my favorite part is when they're like all at the same therapist, like rotating in and out of who's going in. Yeah. There's a lot of like sibling stuff. I mean, like Chris Rock, Tony Rock. Some people say Tony. I haven't actually seen him. Some people say Tony is funnier than Chris.
I've never even heard Tony Rock.
Yeah, no, he's like a major touring headliner.
Really?
Yeah. And then I know there's just a lot of sibling stuff.
Yeah.
The Hemsworth. There's a famous person, then there's a slightly less famous sibling that nobody's heard of, but is also having a pretty decent career.
Yeah, it's like once somebody cracks open the door, I mean, there's a lot of nepotism in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like, it's usually first generation, like you and I, if we're blowing up, especially as an actor, like trying to work our way into stuff, we're never going to reach the fame that our child could, because they can just piggyback off everything that we did, all the things we know about the business, all the connections we've made.
Yeah.
Like almost no celebrities. It's very seldomly, I feel like, where they just are just like, I'm 25 and I got into a movie and now I'm famous.
Yeah.
It's like either you were 10 and your parents put you in an academy, or your dad is somebody.
Yeah. Nepo babies for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it as long as they admit that they have some, privilege.
Yes. Yeah. As long as they understand how, in which way that they aren't inherently better than other people simply because of the situation that they had. Jenna Fisher from The Office talks about in her book how I've
listened to it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I have.
At some point, she mentions that genuinely other actors were far more talented than she was, but they didn't get the thing. They didn't get cast. They weren't in the right place at the right time, and life then made them go in a different direction.
It's also with comedy, a lot of it, it's like being a good hang in a way. Like, it's like a lot of who and who's willing to like, like, oh, I'd rather hang out with this person than this other person. So I'm going to take them on the road, or I'm going to do stuff with them because they're a better hang for these people, That's how
I think you become an opener, is by being a good hang. And I feel as though being in Denver has improved my hang ability. Because in the Northwest, I started at 21, and most people out there are older than here who are doing comedy. So I would have like less friends and like less way to relate to people, and nobody is like friendly out there. So the hang for me
out there is where?
The Northwest. Have you heard about the Seattle Freeze?
No.
So it's a city full of tech bros who don't want to talk or interface with people in real life.
Oh.
Is kind of the sense. There are some friendly people, but when I moved to Denver, I was like taken aback when in elevator someone would go, "How's it going?" I'd be like, "What? Like, you're talking to me?" And so that is kind of like pervasive all throughout society, especially in Seattle. So people do hang with each other, but they're much more closed off. It takes a long time for someone who is funny to like welcome you into conversation. It's a lot of just like standing and nodding while somebody's talking if you want to try to be friends with somebody.
I feel like there's a certain amount of that here.
Yeah, there is, but there's this more similar age group. Like a lot of the people, I'd be like, I'm not going to relate to this 45-year-old guy and like the stuff that he's doing. We might be whatever, but it's I had like a few friends But when I moved here, there's actually a lot of people when I go out to mics and shows where I'm like, oh yes, they're on the show. I can't wait to hang out with them.
Right.
And I didn't feel that way as much in the Northwest. And a lot of it was the age gap. You know, you're 21-year-old working with a lot of 40s, 45 people. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You have a similar, you know, you both have an interest in comedy, but it's not.
And that's it.
Different life experiences.
Yeah.
But I guess just for the listener, I should say we have Sam Ellefson on.
I guess we didn't do a formal start to this. We just kind of started talking.
Yeah, you know, which is what I like. But then I was like, oh yeah, I don't really do an intro anymore because I found out no one really listens to it. So it's like,
sure.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So
it was funny.
People know.
I don't know when we started. And because we were like, we've been talking for like a half hour. I was like, I hope that we started recording the podcast. Because
We've been
JD's like, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Is the snake stuff in there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, now I'm like, oh boy, hold on, reference something before we started going.
You know, we're just talking about, you know, how you like to have sex, things like that, dirty talk. You know.
Yeah. That's my thing. If you guys were curious about my brand,
let's get into the nasty show tonight.
Yeah. If you can't tell by my tone right now,
the nasty podcast is what we'll call it.
Wow. Well, whoever your PR person talked to the wrong person about. Yeah.
It's all me, baby.
Your manager. Your
Yeah, you don't talk about the sex stuff on stage. That conscious effort. I mean, was it just you weren't raised on that kind of comedy? You're not doing it.
I wasn't raised on that kind of comedy. My parents.
You talk a lot about Cosby. I've heard you talk a lot about Cosby before.
all I do is talk about Cosby. I
mean, you did bring it up on the last podcast I listened to you on.
Did I?
Yeah.
Which podcast was it?
The other nerdy guy doing. You guys drink sodas on the podcast.
Oh, Russell Keller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed religious. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. No, I did watch the Cosby Show. Well, obviously this was pre finding out that he dosed women, but
yeah. I mean, I went through the same thing.
Yeah, I brought up one of his bits. I watched a lot of Seinfeld, so pretty clean comedy. And my parents to this day are more like, I'll do jokes that are just like barely dirty, and they're like,
you talked about boobs right off the bat with your on your special.
What did? Oh yeah, with the old lady. See, you can get away with old lady stuff.
Tits, guys.
You can get away with the old lady stuff though too. Yeah, I said boob. They're fine with that. But I have one thing. I don't even say anything, but I imply. I say like woman's perfect spot or something like that in reference to hand washing.
Yeah.
A play on that. And. I have one recording where you can audibly hear her go, "Oh, Sam," like my mom.
Oh, dang.
Say that. But yeah, so I was raised very, very rigidly. We don't talk about sex. We don't talk about anything like that.
But you're having it, right?
Well, one day I hope to. We've been married a while, and
I was just talking about this stuff. I was like, if people aren't talking about sex, are they having it? Like, what the fuck?
Yes, I am sexually active. That's funny. The first time my doctor said, "Are you sexually active?" and I said yes. It was a very like, I didn't go to the doctor over COVID when I got married. Yeah,
we're breakfast club thing at the end.
Yeah, we fist bumped, and he's like, "Dude, nice. Yeah, I see you haven't said yes before. I like that this changed." Yeah, I have like some boundaries too, where I want like there are certain things between me and Kaylee that I want.
And his wife.
Yeah. Well, I want to keep it more private. There are certain components where I might be like, "Can I talk about this?" But I also, I don't know. I am not feeling like, "Oh, I want to talk about this." That's not something that I have a desire to talk about. So that I think plays into it a little bit. But since the first special, I definitely am. I knew I was recording that in my hometown. So I was like, well, I can't even really pursue that idea right now because they're not going to be on board with with what's going on there. So
yeah, just for the listener, you recorded your first special at like your high school. You went to your hometown like high school and did it.
My high school's auditorium. It was the only venue big enough in the entire town
to fit everybody.
Yeah, we did 2 shows. Unfortunately, I would have. The next thing I'm going to record later this fall is going to be at a smaller venue because the venue seated many people, and we did 2 shows of like 100 and 150, and because the space was so big, it threw the energy off more than I thought it would, because we did a test show where we were like, could this work? And the energy was just better. We didn't wait long enough in between shows. If we did like a year and a few months, and honestly we should have just done it
Between the test and the recording?
Yeah.
A year
Yeah, and it wasn't enough time, I felt like.
to get ready for the...
No, not to get ready, for people to have had enough space between my act to have watched it again, to
Yeah,
to
'cause I
want to
was
come to the show.
Right, yeah. Because it's like, you sold that out 3 times? Like, these people are coming 3 times each?
Yeah. So, and this is the thing where that first show had a lot more energy. A lot more people were like, let's all go to Sam's show.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, Sam's in town. Oh, we can't make it this time. They weren't as willing to put stuff away. But that being said, almost 300 people still came out to support me from my hometown,
cool.
which is very cool. But yeah, I sort of feel like, especially with independent projects, just go for it and do it. That's what I regret, is I was just like, let's just do it. You know, maybe it won't work. Okay. Maybe we'll lose a little money. Fine. But I think we would have gotten a better product if I had just done it that first show. And that's what we're doing with the next one. Is it's probably just going to be one show. We're doing a dive bar where I first started doing comedy. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing everything over there, like in Minnesota?
This is going to be in Washington, actually. So I guess now I'm just following the places that I've moved.
Okay.
But it's in Tacoma, where I lived for 7 years, and I went to college out there. So hoping between me and some of the people I'm working with that we should be able to...
7 years? You get your doctorate or what?
Well, no, I didn't go to school for 7 years. I did work at the college I went to after I graduated. But no, that was just how long I lived there. I didn't go to school.
That could be your sitcom. You graduate college and immediately go back and start working there.
It's so weird to then like get on the other side where for 4 years they're like, student experience, all we're doing is catering to you, and then you get on the other side of things and it's just like, how do we spend the least amount of money to do X and Y and Z and cuts? And higher ed pays very, very poorly, but I work in higher ed because it is very accommodating. They understand.
A lot of time off.
A decent amount of time off. I like work from home, flexibility. They know that their pay is not as competitive, so to help with that, usually they're understanding with flexibility and life stuff. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, makes it much easier to do comedy when you're not worried about if your employer is going to let you go do something or not.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped giving unpaid time off, and let's just say I don't have a lot of PTO accumulated.
Yeah, no, and
I'm still taking the time off.
Yeah,
they're just forcing you to call off on that day.
Mm-hmm.
They're making me do it.
Yeah, and all it does is inconvenience your coworkers. You know, where it's, I don't know, I don't know your specific situation, but I know with a lot of places that don't allow time off if it's unpaid, all that ends up being is someone waits and they have to call a day of, and then they have to find somebody else to fill in. And usually the person who set that policy, it's not fully their job. It's like somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Who's got to figure it out. So
fucking management.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Screw the man.
So yeah, you went to your high school, you did it. What was how many cameras you have? You put up all your own money for that?
Yeah.
Your dad introduced you?
Yes.
Is your dad the principal?
He is the guidance counselor at Hutchinson High School.
Okay.
And I have a friend who has a professional videography company in the Northwest. So I'm working with him again on this next one. And we did 5 cameras. And 3 of them, I had friends who were now working in the video space. And one kid I knew who I didn't know as well dropped out like 2 weeks beforehand. And we were just like, oh no, what do we do? And so I reached out to like the AV club basically at the school. And there's like a town AV club. And they were like, oh yeah, this guy said he'd want to do it. So we're like, okay. And he showed up and he had no idea how to operate a camera. His shots were completely unusable because I was out of focus the entire time.
Okay.
So we lost an entire shot. But luckily, my friend, he was doing like moving shots and going all over the place, and we could fill in a lot of his with what my friend did. But it's so great to have really supportive artist friends, because he's like, I want to do this. I will help pay to do this because I want to help make this.
That's nice.
So I'm very check out, if you're in the Northwest, listen to this podcast, you got video needs, check out Autochrome Media.
Autochrome.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to say.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, that's great. I thought the dad stuff was interesting because your dad introduced you, and then you did start talking about like how your dad didn't love you enough, basically.
Yeah, no, there's definitely
I was
some
like, I wonder how he feels about that.
Yeah. Oh no,
I'm sure they're supportive.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of middle child stuff,
Yeah,
and trying to. I think part of it paints the picture of just like, oh, I'm a little kid, because you're talking about the runaway from home bit. Where,
and your dad's like,
yeah,
this is as good as
this
it's
is gonna get.
Yeah, no one else is gonna love you more than me.
Well, and it's funny because if you even in the interaction, I think you kind of tell like he's not a big, like this is as good as it. That's not who he is. But
the interaction where you hugged him on stage.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And I feel like that helps paint the picture a little bit of like what he's saying. The logic of his child brain, I think, is maybe
Your
funny.
Dad's child brain.
Well, no, yeah, my dad's little pea brain. No, but also we know that his dad is a nice person, and I feel like
it seems like you're separating yourself from the stage persona. Like, this character I'm playing on stage is dad.
Well, I felt like it didn't matter because I'm in that story. I'm like 8 years old. And so that's the lens I'm telling it through.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I didn't really feel like and everyone in that crowd knew who my dad was.
Right.
So I didn't really feel like, oh no, I'm messing up anything, because that's all stuff I would tell, even just like to other people of like what my dad did. But he didn't say it that way. I obviously stretched the truth. He just was like trying to be very sweet.
Just like
saying,
a Minaj.
Yeah.
A fucking liar.
That's right. I'm a liar. Well, I had people come up afterwards and be like, not everything you say is true, right? Because I'm like talking about something like swingers in the town.
Yeah.
And me being like, well, it's all based on something that was true. And that's
they're like, well, I want to know where the swingers club is, dude.
And I genuinely don't know if there are swingers, but that was like a thing we talked about in high
world?
school. No, in my hometown, where people would be like, oh, I think these people are swingers. And I'm sure that there are some, but I don't know if it's as pervasive.
Like, I wouldn't talk to them.
No, you do. That's the thing. They're among us,
right?
And you don't know who the swingers are. Yeah.
But it was it's cool that you're doing specials. You're getting out there, doing. Because when I first saw you, I mean, I was introduced to you like on an open mic or whatever. I was like, this fucking guy's doing specials.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel like it is at open mics, where someone shows, even now, like if we would show up and someone's been doing it for a year and they're like, oh, they've been doing it for 10 years and they do this and that, and they see you do an open mic set, they're like, how is anyone going to be like, that guy's got the goods, clearly?
Yeah. Well, you think so, at some point you're just good at it.
Well, but it depends on the
competent
mic.
In a way, yeah.
It depends on the open mic. Like if you're doing new talent night at Comedy Works, the main club, and you're not doing well, very different than if you're at a bar with 5-10 comedians, where it's like what's gonna make them laugh is not necessarily. Sure, you can find stuff that works, but the stuff that's gonna kill at an open mic is probably not stuff that I would ever do in my act. So
interesting.
Yeah. Like someone was pointing out, I did an open mic set, and I've got a joke I'm working out where at one point I have a setup that leads to me saying vagina. And while I think the joke itself is funny, that joke worked much better at the open mic I was at than some of the other stuff I was doing, because of the way I said vagina and the way I brought it up. It's in reference to The Shining. We were watching it with friends. I'm not just going to tell the whole joke, I guess.
The Kubrick version or the
Kubrick version, the scene where the lady gets out of the tub and she's naked.
Super hot.
Yeah. So again, all of that. Well, see, this is the thing with that is like she comes out of the tub naked and then she turns into a decaying old woman after. So I don't know, that feels like an open mic to me, is just like those two things together. That's an open mic. Those people both in the room. Yeah.
Your Jack Nicholson.
Yes. Yeah. But I sort of felt like when I did the special, the reason was because I was like, oh, I'm so ready for this. I am so good at comedy. I have to record this. But it was like, I just want to do something. I feel like I'm not going to get a yes from anyone that would actually like record my special for me anytime soon. And all this material I've been writing since I was 21. So I just want to put it out and then hopefully move on to different parts of my life and get better. And I felt like leaning on that material was holding me back. So I was like, let me just record this, put it out, have some content. And that's kind of the mentality with the one I'm doing this fall too. Whereas it's like, I want to independently make this. And in my head, it's not even fully burnt. Like if, Netflix comes knocking in 10 years, I'm not going to be like, I can't do that joke. I already put it on YouTube.
You'll pull from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you're getting exposed to a new audience. So you want to do your best stuff, I think. Sure. But I guess we'll see what I decide to do if I ever get to a hypothetical like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't think anything you've will write in the next 10 years is better than what you put out on your first special? You're still going to have to pull from it?
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to have to read you the first special. Yeah. No, there's definitely a joke or two, especially if with a lot of the stuff I'm working on that I feel like is my best stuff.
Yeah, you can fit it in as like a tag there. Blah, blah, blah.
If add stuff in, or if it's like this would play off that so well, so I'm just gonna put that into that chunk here. And it's like, well, are you gonna do a whole hour? Because I'm not doing whole hours. I did 40 minutes, and then this one's probably gonna be like a half hour, maybe shorter after we cut stuff. So
right.
No, and I was working with a headliner back when I was in Tacoma. And he is from the era of you post it anywhere and it's burnt. It's done. You can never do that again. And
that was very big when I started.
Yeah. And he said that there was a guy coming up and he would just like, he's like, this is my first ever feature set. Here it is on YouTube. Please watch it. And he's like, what are you doing? But it didn't hurt his career at all. It did was engage people with him. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And, try to get reels and engage in the video space. But yeah, we'll see if eventually it works out or if all this is at the very end I made something,
Right.
But
so you're headlining and like featuring in other states. Is it frustrating to come back here and be like 5 minutes?
Well, it's hard to work out the longer sets.
Are you like, I'm a headliner, I only do 20 minutes?
No, I would
there's
never.
Some people who say that, they're like, I'm only doing feature spots now.
I'd like to get to that point. I feel like people who say that probably aren't actually, who if they're going around being like, this is who I am and I've got an ego about it. But I think that I would say that I'm someone who can headline. I wouldn't say I'm a headliner. Because there's a lot of things that come with being a headliner that I don't do yet. I don't bring my own crowd. I don't have credits. I don't have these things that I think of as being they're a headliner. But typically when I travel, if you're not headlining or at least featuring, you're not making enough money to justify the travel often.
Gotcha.
But Denver, like,
you're not doing it for the love of the game, dude. You're fucking...
Yeah, I mean, not if I'm leaving my wife to go, do
how much does it take for you to leave your wife alone for a weekend?
It depends on
4 days. How much does it cost to get?
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of the house. It's a lot of maximizing profits for traveling. I just don't want to lose money if I can avoid it.
Sure.
Unless there's a venue or a show that I think is going to be helpful to me in some regard. But generally, I don't want to leave my life here to lose money unless I feel like I'm investing in something. Yeah.
So like $50.
If I would say that like 300 or more, if I stand to make that, then I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
There's just like a dust cloud where you used to be and your wife was talking to you about something at the dinner table.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like $300 and I'm gone. Yeah. That's it. Well, I mean, I just, the lounge spot I did last night was last minute, like pick where like Ben was like, hey, I need a host tomorrow night. And this is Ben Kronberg again from the Denver Comedy Lounge.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah. Oh no, I love Ben. He's been very good to me, and I really appreciate what he does for the comedy scene. But I was like, hey, I called her and I was like, hey, I know we were gonna like hang out tomorrow night, but like, is it cool if I do this? Like, this is what I meant. Like, so it is a little bit of a dialogue of.
Oh yeah.
This like, does that make sense?
She's
to go?
Pretty supportive.
Oh, extremely. Yeah. I'm very, very lucky. Yeah. Do you have these conversations with your wife as well?
Yeah, I mean, she when I met her, we met doing a podcast. She was in a play at the Betsy stage, so she's a performer. She was doing it, so she gets the lifestyle. Like,
Wait, she works for Betsy?
She used to. She was doing it. 2015-ish is when we met. So
Okay.
yeah, she was doing a version of Hamlet, but they like switched the sexes.
Oh,
So I called it Lady Hamlet.
Yeah.
She didn't like that.
This is funny. Kaylee is an actor too.
Oh, your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She just did a show with Betsy.
Well, they go by the Bitsy now. I think it's not Betsy stage.
More
More like children's theater.
Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe we're doing a different thing. I'm talking about BETC. They're technically based here, but they usually do the Dairy Arts Center.
Okay, yeah, that thing's different.
They did a different
thing.
thing.
It's different.
Very funny that there are two things in Denver that are actor based that are.
There was called the Betsy 2015. That, as far as I knew, they stopped doing. They had a grant from the from New York to do theater and stuff. That's what I learned on the podcast I did with them.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, grants, tell me more. Let's go into dinner.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. But then they started getting into more children's theater, and they rebranded the Bitsy stage or something.
Okay, I think that's a different thing then. But also, still
funny. That's cool.
Yeah,
you got to get somebody who's performance adjacent, I think.
Yeah, who understands. And we both, as young people, were like, should we be doing this? Is this stupid to do this? And I think it was really helpful to have someone who was supportive and also understood and was pushing them.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't be with somebody who didn't get it.
Yes.
Know? Yeah. So your wife's still acting?
Yeah. Okay. She right now is not in anything. It's I don't know if your wife. We've said every time I say wife or your wife or my wife, all I hear is the Borat voice because Noah Reynolds. Every time I do it, would go my wife, and so now that's all I hear every time I do it. But she. It's tough when like you'll look at the seasons and her age range, she's like late 20s but looks a little younger than she is, and you look through all the characters and all the season and you're like, okay, 1 maybe 2 roles in the entire year for this theater, and this year has been especially bad, so it's now been a dynamic of
they're only doing old people plays.
Yeah.
This one's called The Old Bitch in the Sea.
That's right. Yeah. And Kaylee's not there yet. Yeah. And with actors, they can't just go act.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, I'm going to just, stop by the show at this dive bar and do a quick 5-minute monologue.
Yeah.
It's, you have to, that's the advantage of comedy and also the disadvantage, because anyone can do it. Anyone can just go do comedy at an open mic, which is very cool, but also is why open mics are the way they're. Yeah. I didn't fully answer your question with like the shorter sets in Denver. I appreciated it because you really get to hone in on a smaller section of your set. I think it has made me worse at doing half-hour sets because you don't do them as frequently. Whereas when I was 4 or 5 years in Washington, I was doing opener sets 20 to 30 minutes at that point consistently.
Crazy.
And then you move here and you're having to reprove yourself. But I think it has made me write tighter, and I feel like I can sell myself really well in a 10-minute set, which I think is important if I would ever have the opportunity to audition for anyone or anything, and I think is another reason why Denver comedians often find success is because of that. You need your 10 minutes needs to be really, really good.
I've always heard a tight 5, not 10.
Well, I feel like Denver, a lot of auditions and stuff, you do like 8 to 10 is what they're looking at. I could be wrong. I've never auditioned for anybody, but when I hear of friends auditioning for people, that's usually a little longer than a 5-minute set. But submission tapes for festivals are usually like 5 minutes long. So
yeah, I guess that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Which I don't do a lot. Don't have the money to be submitting to too many things.
Yeah, I kind of pick and choose. I think it's difficult when festivals are casting like a show basically where they're looking for specific people to fill specific roles. And I feel like there are a lot of people who are kind of in the straight white guy group that do comedy, surprisingly. What?
Yeah.
And I think it's very competitive. So I try to pick and choose as well the festivals I really want to get into so that I can apply to them every year to try to get into what they're doing. And they can see me. The panels will see me multiple times. But but I've just started doing that recently because for a while I was just like I never seem to get into them. I don't know which festivals I even really want to do that's worth paying for. So yeah, that's my new strategy. So I can let you know how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got your High Plains hat, so
That's right. Yeah.
you're doing all right.
But that's even like you don't submit for that. That's all like
Well,
you know, having someone recommends you for it is really how you get on. I mean, even out of state people, it's the same deal where it's like, oh, well, you've worked with someone who's involved with picking people, and that kind of is comedy generally too, where it's like, oh, this person recommended you, so now you can do my show. Or festivals where it's like a credit. It's because someone trusts that whoever is picking the lineup for Limestone says, if they say you're good enough, then you're good enough to do my show. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of word of mouth.
And that's where it being a marathon comes in too, I think, is just a lot.
That way you train for marathons?
Exactly.
You literally train for marathons?
Yeah, I want to do one and then never do one again. But yeah, I'm currently training for a marathon specifically to help my comedy career. So
physically.
Yeah. Oh,
and mentally.
These gams, oh yeah, they're going to get me bookings, baby.
It's funny that you're like, I'm not going to train in any kind of physical, combat sport, but I am going to train in running away.
That's right.
As long as I can.
Until I learn to fight, I'm going to learn how to run as fast and far away as I can.
Yeah. There's something there.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't act anymore. She got out of the game.
Out of the game.
Yeah, just so.
Is she happier for it?
I think she is. Yeah.
This is it's tough. It's very mentally taxing. I feel especially because comedy you get said no to often indirectly, where it's
right,
like someone just not asking you to do their show.
Right. Yeah.
And with acting, it is quite literally, hello, I'm here. Here is my acting ability, and then someone says, no, we didn't like your acting ability for this. And you have to hear that constantly.
Yeah. It's a rough one.
Yeah.
It's something I've been toying around with, is I don't think I couldn't not do comedy because I don't want to say I used to do comedy.
It's a tough thing to quit. I mean, yeah. What's
more embarrassing to me than just grinding it out for another 30 years at the same open mics?
Yes, yeah. What's more embarrassing, to say that you're trying to make comedy work, or to be like, I tried for a while and then Well, and it's what people perceive you as being as well. Like if you're like, yeah, I did comedy for a while, they picture like, the 50-year-old man who went to the open mics for a little bit as like a midlife, like, they don't understand that it's like, oh no, I've actually done like some cool things or I did some cool things, I guess, in this example.
I gave up.
No. Yeah.
I mean, anybody who's gotten out of the comedy game, I think, is happier.
Yeah.
That's one thing I also liked on the last pod you were doing with this guy, is you both were talking about how fulfilling your lives are outside of comedy.
And how that's important, I feel like, to my overall happiness and my ability to be a good performer, is finding ways to be.
That's not something you covered in here. It's more like, I like shoving it in lonely comics' faces.
That's funny. That you're picking up the worst lines from this. You like Bill Cosby. You like shoving.
I mean, I was a fan of his comedy.
Yeah, I loved. I still enjoy when a comedian is like grinding super hard and I am feeling tired, and my way to deflect from my own insecurity about not going to the next open mic is to go to them and be like, I actually have fulfillment outside of this place, and be like, I'm going to go to that.
They're like, oh yeah, well, that's gay.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't say it to my face, because I'm so tall. Yeah. They think maybe this guy. But little they know is I can just run faster than them. Yeah.
And you're physically in better shape, so.
Yeah, then I would say if you exercise one day a week, you're in better shape than most comedians.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But we are in Denver.
There's a healthy city.
Very fit.
Yeah.
I get.
Did you feel like you had to step it up when you moved here? Your wife's looking around. You can tell she's getting hot from smelling other people or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
The hormones.
I do feel like I see someone and I'm like, I feel like if I worked at it, like I could start to get like closer to that strong or that fitness level. But really, it is just a health thing. We at our work, lets us do these in-body assessments where it like does a scan of your body and like does percentages and like tells you what like your lipid fats are and stuff. So I've actually been able to like track getting healthier again after my metabolism slowed down, because I was like through like 25 the person who could eat whatever I wanted whenever
You talk
I
about
wanted.
a lot of dairy, and I'm like, that catches up with you.
Oh yeah, burgers. I think I ate 2 burgers a week for a while.
That sounds awesome.
Oh,
Sounds awesome.
I still do it when I can. I try to limit it to the summer months
Okay.
when they're in season.
The
But,
burger season.
yeah.
What's your go-to burger?
Like in town or
Yeah, in town. Don't tell me about some fucking
well,
Washington
I wasn't sure
place.
if you're like what like style of burger, but
okay, yeah, a smash burger or a fucking.
I have a lot of respect for. I don't like the really fancy burger. If you're paying more than $10 for a burger, it's probably not for me. I don't like when people are putting fancy cheeses and arugula. No. I like. Have you been to Grandpa's Burger Haven? It's neat.
I haven't, but yeah,
here.
I know about of it.
It is so good. They do small and large, and the large is like this big. The bun, they toast it, and it's smash burger style. Their burger sauce is really good. They've got the perfect balance of onion and mustard. So that's my go-to.
Onion, very good.
Yeah.
What? How you feel about a Shake Shack?
I have never been to Shake Shack.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite burger right now.
Really?
It's very good.
If you like Shake Shack, I think you definitely would like Grandpa's because it's the same smash kind of style.
Okay.
I really like In-N-Out's burgers, but it's tough to go there because everything else is not so good.
Yeah, their fries aren't great.
Are horrid, I'd say.
Thank you.
And then I love a Culver's Butterburger.
That's one I don't go to very often.
Oh.
I think I've been once in my life, and I'll have to try it again here soon.
You go. This is. Do you like cheese curds?
I mean, I'm not against them.
Okay,
I'm not gonna get them over fries.
Okay.
With my burger.
What's your preferred style of fry?
Well, again, Shake Shack has a good crinkle cut, but I mean,
Okay.
I'd go for like an Arby's or Good Times. I like the wild, whatever they call those.
The
wild
curly fries.
Curly
at Arby's?
fries, yeah, with the whatever kind of seasoning that is.
Yeah. If you're a crinkle cut person, Culver's does crinkle cuts.
Okay.
And what I do is I
Should we go to
upgrade.
Culver's after this?
Maybe. I upgrade my fries to the cheese curds, and then I get the meal, and I upgrade the drink to the custard, and then you get all the best stuff. I think in one thing. And then I get
what's
just
that?
the
Still under
Butterburger.
$20, or is it getting,
Oh yeah. I would say
it's like a meal's like 12. You
yeah,
know?
I
And
would
then you're getting all your upgrades.
with the upgrades. You're probably pushing around 15. I haven't been in a minute. It's probably been close to a year since I've been to Culver's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say around 15 is what it would be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll have to try that one here. Maybe we'll do it after. I did a French fry bracket with Ed Bell and a buddy of mine, because he was saying, I heard him on someone else's podcast being like, "Oh, In-N-Out fries are the best," and it infuriated me so much. I was like,
we need to do a whole bracket and
we
prove
did
him
a whole
wrong.
thing. Yeah, we did a whole thing.
Objectively.
We went to Good Times, Arby's, McDonald's, Burger King, and I think In-N-Out.
Who's your final two?
Yeah, the final two was probably McDonald's and Good Times, and then we went with Good Times.
I don't know that I've done Good Times fries. There's a Good Times, a 2-minute walk from my building. So.
I'd say check it out. Try it out.
I like their burgers fine.
But not the fries. You haven't had the fries?
I usually just go and I get the burger.
Interesting.
It's, when I just am like, oh, I want a burger, I just walk over there.
You're not doing the whole package.
I'm not doing the whole package.
Interesting.
Partially because then I just walk back with the burger and eat it while I want. Yeah, partially. And their burger is not one I think it's a serviceable burger.
What do you get?
What I honestly just get like their cheeseburger.
Okay.
That's usually what I go for.
Yeah.
But it's not so good, which is good because it's so close to me that I'm like constantly thinking
I like the little Bambino burgers. They got a good sauce. They got pickle crunch.
Sliders. I had a slider somewhere and it turned me off from them.
Only place
forever.
I get sliders. I mean, I guess we don't really have White Castles around here, so it's not really a thing here.
Yeah, White Castle. I never really ate it, but I just have a very negative association. Anyone who's like, let's freeze our burgers and make them microwavable is not high up on the.
That's kind of the Arby's thing. Is I don't think that I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like, they have no grills, so they can't do burgers well. Because I was talking about, I was like, oh, I saw they have burgers. I might try them. because I love their fries, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't have grills there. Why would you go there?
That's interesting. Well, this is like Applebee's where they literally pre-make and microwave
Oh, I
their
didn't
food.
know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, blew my mind. That was Applebee's was the first restaurant really that my hometown had. That was like a chain restaurant.
So I'm a Chili's guy.
Yeah. And they probably do some form of it. But my family to this day will go to Applebee's for like special occasions and have like a microwave corn dog or a salad or something.
That's totally where my mom went. Well, my mom goes to Chili's for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, in like Olive Garden where they
I used to work at Olive Garden.
Yeah, they pre-make like the pasta has been
it's
not made to order is I guess what I'm trying to say.
I mean they do like they'll heat it up and it'll be in a little baggie like a pre-portioned baggie, and then when you're like, all right, we got the fucking Alfredo, they'll pull out a baggie.
And
then they warm it up in the water, and then they,
something about putting your food into a plastic bag before you get it is just I don't know.
That's how you do stuff at that scale.
I know, but then also they charge almost the same prices as like a family place,
right? Yeah.
But I went for the nostalgia a couple years ago. I'd be curious. Have you been since you stopped working there?
Yeah, once or twice. But a friend of mine, she likes to do her birthdays there because it's like kitschy or whatever.
Is that like a big bummer? Like it's a big sacrifice for you to be like, all right,
dude, I fucking go all out. I'm like, give me the fucking Italian margarita. I'm doing the, give me the fucking.
You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, I'm just like getting all the shit I couldn't afford when I was working there, and
right,
they yell at you for eating the breadsticks.
What?
Yeah, they're like, don't fucking eat the breadsticks.
And the last time I went, I was like, breadsticks, something's
they're
changed.
not great. I mean, they were never great.
Well, my child brain said that they were, because again, I don't know if your family was like this.
Salt and butter.
Was your family where Olive Garden would be like, or, Applebee's, like one of these chain restaurants where they'd be like, this is our big meal out.
It was
like, this is fancy.
Pizza Hut when they had their buffets. That's what we would do.
Yes. We had a Chinese buffet in our town that was like every year after Thanksgiving, after we gorged ourselves, we would then go to the buffet and gorge ourselves again on very Americanized Chinese food.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
Yeah.
I'm tired of everyone being like, oh, authentic Chinese food's so good. No, it's not. Well, you want General Tso's, all right? You don't want the fucking
here's my
camel hump.
My counter argument, I feel like yes, but there's some seasonings missing that would make it better. They made it very Midwest bland. So you're just like, essentially you're eating like fried chicken, or you're having rice with very bland noodles. So
the fire chicken at Panda, sometimes I'll go and do that.
Oh, I mean, Panda Express it's very tasty. It's very good.
Yeah. It's hitting all the fucking, it's lighting up my brain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how much sugar they pour into
for sure.
the sauces they put on that
It's
stuff.
part of it, you know?
Yeah, like you're saying, when you're going to Panda Express, you're not trying to be healthy. You're going, that's a little treat.
Hey, I'm not getting the noodles or rice. I'm just getting a big bucket of the fried chicken.
The sugar meat.
Yeah, the sugar meat, and then a little bit of broccoli to feel better about it.
We just did a show together where the sound was weird. There was, I don't know if it was an AC unit or what it was that was like above us.
Yeah, I think that was the AC to the
venue.
brewery.
Yeah, and then
we were outside.
We were outside, so there's already stuff, and then
seemed like a safety hazard because it was like this balcony that had this huge AC unit.
Yeah,
and it wasn't straight. Let's just say it wasn't plump. You know what I'm saying?
And then the speaker was kind of right near you, so it was.
You're the only one who got some feedback.
Yeah, I got a little feedback, and it was
echoey up there.
I found it harder to connect to the crowd and really get a sense of what was going on because of all these sounds that were, making it so I couldn't hear them as well, couldn't pick up on what was going on. Because I feel like the crowd usually has an energy that you can you tell a joke and a lot of the room likes it. And then you can feel something over here, and then you can choose to explore that or not. But But I felt like because of all those stimulants, I had a harder time. Did you feel that way when you?
Well, I knew. I did a guest spot. I had 5 minutes. I knew I was gonna do good, so I was able to just come in and out and just do my thing and be out before anybody was like, "All right, I'm tired of this" or something. You know?
Yeah.
I felt. I like that everybody was into it. The crowd was spread out, but it was like they were engaged. So I thought that, I was just like thankful for that I wasn't like fighting talking people outside at a brewery.
Yeah, and you could tell that the lineup was doing a good enough job because people were filtering in. You know, instead of people leaving the free show, people were joining it.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple that was like behind the speaker. So there were only 4 people to your right. But you almost felt like I can't just fully leave them out of this. So everyone that's fun and is paying attention is over here. And these people were fun, but you had to like fully turn your body. And that's when I got the feedback, when I was like, I'm actually going to look at these 2 people. And then that was a bad idea.
Nope. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, I can feel when I do other sets at different places, you can feel who's not into it.
Yeah.
And I choose to ignore that and just plow through, which I don't know. I'm a bullhead snake on stage. Okay, which I don't know if that's the best for me, but again, I'm trying to be like clever, you know?
Sure.
It's funny you brought up Chris Farley, because I've been bringing up Chris Farley like the last 2 podcasts, because I've listening to a podcast where they were talking about how like charismatic and like just naturally funny he was.
Yeah.
You know, he like knew who he was, and he knew what, you know, and that kind of ultimately like led him down a darker path, because he's like, fatty fall down. I get that's what people want.
Yeah.
But I was even talking to Ethan during someone else that said, I was like, oh, I should have had more fun with that guy who was like, because I saw a guy who I kind of knew through some mutual friends. And I was like, oh, hey, I know this guy, you know, and I was like, I was in the moment enough to like comment on it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, I should have played with him more. Like, I should have been like, hey, you know, this guy's my ex-lover, and now he's with this girl. And, you know, like, oh, like leave her and come with me. You know, I was like, oh, I should have had fun. You know?
It's tough in a 5-minute set, though.
That's
you know,
exactly what he said. He's like, you only had 5 minutes.
If
dude.
you do that, and then everyone's like, what is he doing?
My
then
whole
you're
set
screwed.
is that.
You're like, I got 30 seconds to get a laugh and get out of here.
I guess I get. Yeah, I was playing within my constraints.
Yeah, my favorite thing, and where I feel like I have the most fun, and therefore I'm probably the best comedian, is when I have a longer set in I usually prefer a smaller room where I can like see most people and get a sense.
That's where you went wrong with the whole auditorium in your special.
Exactly.
You like a smaller room.
Well, and genuinely, another critique.
You didn't go wrong. I'm just saying, you know, like you're saying it felt off or whatever.
But genuinely, another critique of it is that I was so stressed about like basically hitting my marks that I wasn't as in the moment. And that's what I'm hoping to do differently on the one in the fall, because where I feel like I'm the best is where I'm feeling things out. Oh, somebody has a weird reaction to something I said. Let's respond to that, because I don't want a negative heckle. I don't mind when someone's having a great time and they, you know, just like say something inadvertently, you know, something, and then you get to play on that. I love to sit in those moments and figure it out and be like, okay, what's going? And in the past year, I feel like I've gotten better at, let me ask this. I don't think of anything funny there. Let me sit in it. Let me ask a couple more questions until like you can find something.
Yeah. Well, you're trusting you're going to find something, so you can, you're allowing yourself to go there.
Being loose and having fun with it and developing that muscle. And when I feel like, you know, everybody uses the phrase in the pocket now, is usually because you have enough time to breathe in those sets where you can do that.
Or you're cooking.
Yeah. And it's okay. Cook. It's okay that you took 5 minutes to do that, because
when you have a longer set,
Yes, yeah. But if you're doing 10,
only 5 minutes,
10. I would argue up to like 15. If you're doing 15, you probably have enough time to do it. But a 10, 12-minute set, if you do it, I mean, that's going to be a good chunk of your flow up there is going to be addressing whatever that thing is.
But also, I was just thinking now, I was like, that's such a contrived thing again, is like me doing this whole bit about how we were gay lovers and he left me and now he's with this girl. He shows up to a show I'm on with this girl, and that's, I don't know, that might be too much as well, you know?
Well, and sometimes like you have the thought of like, it would have been funny if I said this or did this thing. And I feel like you'll never know, because it has to be an in the moment feeling. Yeah. And that's like the muscle you're working out is, you know, you're like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, being able to be like, because again, when you can't feel the crowd, it's hard to decide what direction to go, because if they're not on your side and you're like, I know this guy, and you do like a couple attempts, then it's like, I'm never gonna get them if they're not already on board, if they weren't already on board with what's going on.
That's true.
I had a really fun time. I was doing a don't tell, and there was a fire.
It's rubbing it in my face.
And okay, all right. There was a fire though during my set, And this is a 10-minute set. So normally
fire broke out.
A fire, you couldn't see the fire. It was far enough away.
Where was this venue?
But
okay, it wasn't like the kitchen in the restaurant or whatever.
No, it wasn't it was, but fire trucks were buzzing by in a way where they were loud enough. I couldn't really
like
do comedy. It's not even possible really to do it. And it was like one truck went by and I had to wait. And then when the second one went by, I was like, what's going on? And then the third one goes by, and now we're just like talking about the fire trucks. And it became a bit of so many police vehicles and fire trucks were going by that I'd be like, that's got to be it, right? And then I would start going and another one would drive by. So it became like this almost like a gag of every time I try to do my set, an emergency vehicle comes and stops me from continuing. And I don't think I would have been able to handle that well, like the way that I did, where I felt like instead of ruining my set, it added to it. I don't think I would have been able to do that like a year ago. So it was cool after that to be like, that's like, I was able to make something. Yeah, I made something out of it, and they really enjoyed it and were like engaging with me on it, and I was getting consistent laughs throughout. And I like when I filmed the special, I don't think I had that ability at that point. So yeah.
It's the lively art. I have this acting book over here that says it's called The Lively Art. I'm like, no, dude, stand-up's the lively art.
Yeah. And there's like an energy thing I feel like too with that, where truly when you go see live theater, even though they say the same words, every show is a little different.
You have to still be in the moment and kind of things and reacting to whatever's happening. Yeah. I mean, I took enough acting classes to know that. I took it in college. So
I did a little missionary method. And,
Meisner.
Whatever.
You said missionary method?
No. What? Missioner is an author. He's not an acting person. And I actually have technically a theater degree.
Uta Hagen,
I don't know Uta Hagen.
I listened to her book.
Yeah,
she's like, your body's an instrument. And like, would you treat a Stradivarius badly? So why would you treat your body bad? You have to keep your body as finely tuned as you would that Stradivarius.
Interesting. And is this in reference to acting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, the school I went to, they taught Stanislavski. And we did a little bit of Meisner and what's her face? Adler, the Adler method. I think it's Adler.
Adler sounds right.
Yeah.
I've been out of college for a little while.
I believe that she's the one that, like the Jim Carrey stuff where she would be like, no, you are them all the time.
She taught him how to talk through his butt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Grinch, that's all part of the Adler program. Very funny if I'm saying the wrong person in this, but where she was like, no, you're always that person. While you're
like
in that
the method thing,
the full method, whereas Meisner was kind of like partial method, and then Stanislavski's method was the when you are on that stage, you are thinking and behaving in every way that person might. Every part of your body is doing only what that character would do,
right?
And that like then led to these other people. Yeah,
man, acting's good. I like acting.
I am okay at it. I did get a Best Supporting Actor award in college, not to brag, but I was better at like character-y parts, but I was not very good. I was serviceable at like drama and a lot of the other things, but I was able to do characters well, where I could really be like, okay, I get who this is now, and I can find the comedy in that now. But I was never as good.
Are you trying to make all your scenes funny?
Well, only if it was a comedy.
Like, where's the comedy coming from for this character?
Yeah, we're doing Romeo and Juliet, the death scene, and
I really milk some lines for laughs.
Yeah. I did. Did you do improv?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, yeah,
I was in college, and I did one level at the Bovine.
Yeah, improv in college. That's the gateway.
yeah, for real.
I was big into it in college. I was doing it as much as I was doing stand up, which was like 3 or 4 times a week. I was doing 2-person improv
scenes.
Yeah, reading books.
Long form, or was it like games?
Long. We started with games, and then we got very pinky up, and we were like, games are for children. If you want to do real improv, you must be doing forms
the 3-act structure thing, and I can't remember what the fuck, but
Harold.
Yeah, the Herald.
Yeah, we did some Heralds poorly.
I read Truth and Comedy.
Yes. I have also read Truth and Comedy. Yeah, no, I actually, I don't know if you could say I invented, because I'm sure there's similar forms, but
You invented an improv form?
I did a form, which again, maybe somebody did something very similar, very much like it, but where you do a scene, and to transition the scene to like swipe it basically and start the next one person says the last word. So if they were like, "I'm so sick of you being so stupid," then someone would go "stupid," and everyone would say "stupid" in a circle for a while, and then a new scene would start, and "stupid's the suggestion." And I was very proud of it. We would do it all the time because I really liked it. I'd force it on the team and to be like, "Remember that thing I did? Let's do it again, guys. What do you say?"
That's called a leader.
That's what a leader does, is imposes themselves on other people. That's what I've learned the past couple of years.
All right, man. Well, thanks for doing the pod. Where can people find you? Or you can check me out.
Can
I catch your OnlyFans?
Yeah. My OnlyFans is still in progress. Haven't quite gotten it set up yet. But if you can check out my website, samellefson.com. I post my shows on there. I post shows on my Facebook and Instagram, which if you look up Sam Ellefson, I'll pop up. I've got a special out on YouTube called Minnesota Nice, and I will be releasing a new one hopefully early next year. So,
right on, man. Well, thanks for coming on. I do let the guests sign us off however they see fit. I will say Wakanda forever, be excellent to each other. And
then I get to say whatever I want.
The culmination of this whole experience for you.
The culmination of this whole experience. That's a lot of pressure on words. Now I'm gonna like stall. Little did JD know I am very bad at making decisions. So he's like, "Quick, make a decision to end this."
We're just talking about improv.
Listen, if you had gotten me, I'm rusty, and I'm rusty is how I want to end the podcast.
All right, man. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.